Hi, it's Jared from Strongroots Farm. Today we're back. We're going to be doing some farm work, so just kind of a standard video, not teaching anything specific. We'll teach points throughout the way. I'll show you what we've been working on in our farm store, and then we're going to be going and clearing some more fence rows with the boys. They've already left with the gator to start some weed eating on a small spot. But we've got a hairy spot in the back that we're going to work on, so you'll see some more of that today. And I want to show you about some of my troubles. And so I'm going to show those right here, right now. Stick around, have a good time with us today. Nothing really important or specific to a certain teaching, but if you're a follower, you'll get to see lots of the things that we do. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. If this is your first time, please like and subscribe, follow along. We really enjoy everybody jumping in with us and supporting our farm. I have some exciting news coming up. So I've been trying to do better at this YouTube thing and trying to help my viewers. One thing that I'm working with right now is an Amazon storefront. So I'll be able to take all of the stuff that I test and approve on our farm, put it in this storefront, and when you go to Amazon, you can say, wonder what the guy at Strongroots Farm uses. You can go to my storefront. You can say socks in the search, and it will show you what socks I buy. You'll see our microphones. You'll see all of our stuff that we advertise, the magnetic cup holders, the pig water systems, all those things, anything that I buy from Amazon. I try to buy a lot of stuff local, and I'll tell you that in the videos, but if I buy it from Amazon, it'll be in there, and you can buy the exact same thing that I bought. Let's get to my issues today, and we'll show this farm store. So we have been doing some work on the farm store, got some coat racks, got the ceiling painted. I got it trimmed out, all the nails done, and then I had an issue with my door. We'll go around the other side and I'll show you that. The other side of this door is that farm store. We got it all done, like I said, and like you saw, and this was a recycled door. It's a full fiberglass door. It looked good, but this was never covered before. So this was just an open door. I cleaned all this out. All of the trim looked good. The inside of the door frames looked good. Well, as soon as I got everything, every nail hole finished, all I had to do was cut in paint and we were done and then ready to install the kitchenette. I opened this door and it fell off the freaking hinges, just rotted out, just completely fell out. There's a piece of plastic in the internal edge of this door and it was all sealed. It looked good. But I guess water was getting behind there for years and years prior to us being here, and it rotted the internal structure of that door, and all of those hinges fell off at one time. The middle one has like one screw that I've got to hold just so I could lock this door while we go in here and paint this other one. So I had to buy a brand new door on Christmas Eve, spend my money there at Lowe's, but the door looked fine. It's just my luck. It all rotted out because the guy prior to me didn't have that sealed. Somehow the water flashing wasn't done right and the door rotted. That's my life. So today we've got a new door and I've got the inside of it painted like a semi-gloss white. I've been using Rust-Oleum, just spray paint that I bought at Lowe's. It does a shinier and a more even paint with spray paint. I typically roll everything, and so I've rolled doors before. I do have special metal paint that I can paint these doors, and I bought a steel door. I probably would rather have an all-weather fiberglass door, but they did not sell a fiberglass door that was not trimmed. And just to give you kind of a comparison, it was like $350 for a door that already had all of the flashing and the trim set for the door, if that makes sense to you, the outer set of the door, and then the unhinged door, just like this, the plain door, they only had the steel. So I went with the steel. We're painting it. On the outside, I'm gonna make it this light gray color just to give it a little contrast to our shop, and then we'll be able to put our logo on it. My old door had a nice window, and I went without the window, one, for cost, but two, it's another way that somebody could break into my shop. They just bust that window out and unlock my door. And so I haven't had a problem with that. We don't have a huge problem here in our rural area with people stealing stuff, but it's a possibility. There's a lot of money in tools in here. There's a lot of money in beef and pork and, you know, $4,000 worth of products there. So I want to head with that sealed door even though it doesn't look as nice. So right now we're going to paint it. I'll do a little time lapse of that. So I might be able to show you how I'm doing this. Growing up in a body shop, I didn't do a lot of the painting. My stepdad was the painter, but I learned a lot just from watching. So I bought this Rust-Oleum with the different tips, and it has these number systems on the back of the bottle here, and I'm going with the vertical, which is set to 4 up here. You turn this knob. When I overlap, when I spray, I'm gonna spray a coat, and 50% of the width, so let's say it's a 4-inch width, 50% of that will be in the gray and 50% of that will be in the white. And so I'm jumping up 50% every swatch. And then I'm letting go of the button as I fade over where I painted the edge so that I'm not double painting that. So I'm spraying back and forth, trying to keep the spray going straight down and the same distance. My bottle needs to stay the same distance away from the door. I'm going about 4 to 6 inches away from the doors. I'm going back and forth. So if you're looking to how do you get a good even coat on a door like this, and we're gonna do 3 coats, but I like the color so far, kind of looks rustic. Hopefully when I put a white lettering on it, it'll show up real nice. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. Well, we got a pretty good coverage here on our door. Happy with that for now for the first coat. I like the color. Like I say, white will stand out pretty good against that when we go to put our logo back on the front door. Now I'm gonna go out, work with the boys out as we're weed eating, and so that will help us a little bit out there, and so I gotta keep them in line, but I'm gonna let that dry. Now, I wiped this door down, so to give you some prep, I just wiped this down with some water and a rag, just a damp cloth and dust. You can wipe it down with thinner. If there's some oil or grease, you can use a paint thinner or something like that to wipe that off. But I did that prior to the white paint, and then today I just took a damp cloth and made sure there was no dust that got on it when we cleaned up our shop a little bit. I would not do a tractor or a car or anything like this, but for a front door, especially in a garage, this is a good way to do it. In a house, I'm designing houses now, you've heard I've done this. This is one of the main reasons that when I look at a drawing of a home, from now on in my life, I am looking to have those doors covered. I don't want any door on the side of a home that doesn't have at least a 4-foot roof or overhang over it for this main reason. I don't ever want to have to go back, especially in brick, where it's really hard to replace a door without cutting stuff. So you have all that time and trimming and all those things to rip off and get a door replaced. You really want to buy a good door in the beginning as you're building something. Doors and windows, it's worth the extra money to get a high quality door and window, and double seal that thing. Extra tape, they have the zip system tape, all the different stuff you can do, and make sure there's a roof over it. So as I look at a home now, that's one thing when somebody shows me, hey, I want to build this home, what do you think about this drawing that the guy gave me? That's the very first thing I look at is, where is the weather going to blow in and destroy your door frames and even window frames? But windows are a little bit more protective than doors themselves, especially when the doors sit on the level of the concrete of the garage or wherever it would be. They'll pull extra moisture. So that happened here in this barn, and it didn't even last 20 years and it's rotted out. Now I have to replace it. Let's get out to do some weed eating. This is the easy part. This is our middle fence down the middle of our property. It's high tensile, it's only 3 strands. It's really easy to weed underneath, but this isn't acceptable. So I get to yell at these boys to say, this is not acceptable. Shut that off. You're out of fuel? Good, shut it off, put it down anyways. This isn't good enough. Look at all this crap around each post. Look at underneath that fence up there. That has to be done right.
I ran out of gas.
Okay, set the weeder down, I'll take care of it. I want you to take the sickle bar mower and him to take the loppers. Go over there to that fence and just walk down through there real quick and knock any briars down. There's very seldom, it's as fast as you can walk, you're gonna be able to hit that side. There's very few briars over there. So knock that side out. That'll give me time to clean up your mess here and get ahead of you, and then start back here cutting briars as I weed eat down through here to the other end. All right? All right, get going.
So we're going down to that corner?
You're going over there to that side just to touch up the briars. That side I already weeded. This side I have to weed eat now. All right? All right, so you heard what we're doing here. Gonna hit this up, put this on time lapse. You guys know what weed eating looks like, but And then we'll go to the back. That'll be the really important part of fixing our fence and our charge. All right, so this fence line is the very back, kind of westward towards Cincinnati of our property. This has not been done in 4 or 5 years. The guy on this side, the other side of the fence, we're just gonna call him Mr. J. Super nice guy. He has a pond. He lets my kids fish. You know, we have an agreement. Nobody hunts on my farm. There's not a lot of deer on my farm because it's all fenced, and his property is not fenced, and the north side is not fenced. And so there's a creek that runs down through this area, so the deer tend to go down there. He's a big deer hunter. He's a guy who takes care of his land, but this fence is not a huge priority to him. It's our fence. So he lets us go on this side. We're gonna clean this up. So we've probably got, I don't know, 400 feet of fence today. We're gonna go all the way down to our creek down at this end and come all the way down through here. And it's not awful because it was done 4 or 5 years ago, right? So there's some saplings growing up. There's some briars. We'll pull all this stuff, cut it back. We will spray the stumps of the little saplings. We'll spray the heads of the briars. Very minimal spraying, so I probably have 12 ounces of spray for this whole 400 feet that we're gonna spray with our briar mix. Any trees, there was a tree that fell here. Okay, we cut up, but we're just gonna take and kind of throw that stuff that way. He's more concerned about deer than he is anything else. It would be nice for someday to be able to graze some of this, and it would bring in more deer for him actually. But for now, it's just getting this clean for our electric fence, there's a piece of fence down here, a piece of barbed wire I'll show you. We're definitely gonna have to tighten that while we're out here. And so we'll get everything off of it, get it cleaned up. I'll show you some different things along the way, but you can see barbed wire, it's all tangled up and it's really not that loose. It was just kind of tangled around that stick, but you know, we might tighten this up a little bit today. So we're gonna go all the way down. The hope is to at least get to that corner and around that corner. That's what we're gonna work on now. Well, that took us about, I don't know, 2.5 maybe hours. Got a pretty good swatch down through there, way over. This could really be done with a bush hog now. So we have a gate right here. And if we did this with a bush hog every year, you can see over down through this fence. That's kind of what you're looking to do. And there's a spot down here that has a big tree, and so I would really need to talk to my neighbor. Can I cut that big tree down and grind that stump? But that would have let me to take this bush hog down through here. So note, this was not done for 5, maybe 6 years. This has never been done since we've had this property. The guy before us did not do a very good job. He bush hogged every now and then, but he didn't have like completely bare land, no briars when we got here. So the moral of the story, the lesson is if you can go through and make it look like this once a year, once every other year, you'll save yourself a ton of work without letting it grow up. If you build it, get it clean and build a new fence and just let it go until it's disastrous, it really takes a lot longer than spending an hour a year in a section. We did 500-600 feet here in 2 hours and we hadn't touched it for 5 years. So keeping up with it is the big part of keeping good fence clean. Hope that helps you, but we've got this section done. There is another 200 feet over on this side against the property we just rented that we have to do, but I lost a kid to the pigs. He's up cleaning the pig pen. It's a pretty decent day today. We can spread that manure, not have it sitting in our manure spreader, so I'm having him do that. Rue is going through now, hitting all the stumps and the briar stick ups. We leave them stick up about 4 inches and paint a chemical spray on them. And so he's going through and hitting all those to prevent them from coming back. And then we're gonna go do another easier section on the other side of the farm, more of this 3-strand inner fence. And so we've got all the inner fence done except for our last little 1.5 acre field that's on the other side of this woods right here. We'll get that knocked out today. There is a patch of really bad briars, so we might skip that today until I have both boys. It's really nice to have me running a weed eater, getting all the grass and stuff away from the briars. Then my one son takes that, we call it a sickle bar mower, but it's a hedge trimmer, battery powered hedge trimmer. And he cuts all those out. And then the next kid takes and pulls and throws. He's the puller and thrower. And then I go back through and hit spots with a weed eater if I need it. Everything's in here. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna continue on with this. At the end of the day, hopefully we're spreading a load of manure and we've had a pretty good day here before the rain comes. The sky is looking dark, so it's coming. It's a good day to get this done. This chemical, I hesitated about doing it because if I don't do it now, I won't probably come back and do it, but I don't want to spray that. I like to have that setting for 2 or 3 hours at minimum. Really 24 hours would be best before a rain. We're not supposed to get rain today, so there's like a 10% chance. So we should not get rain, but skies are dark, so I'm kind of taking a little bit of risk, but it's very minimal, the amount of chemical that we're using. And I can go over that mixture. I've been asked for that mixture. I can go over that in another video when I have the bottles and I can show you the labels. But that's what we're doing. We're gonna continue going on. All right, well, we got through the woods over here completed, come down this fence row here, got all this stuff back here in this small little pasture. Over on this side and in the back, I've determined there's so much stuff that are 6 feet out. We had a bunch of trees fall and cattle never grazed there this year. So there's a bunch of stuff that's just tall to walk through and you're catching yourself on briars. I'm just gonna go through there with the bush hog. It's clean now. We drug all the trees out, cleaned all that up earlier in this fall. So I'll go through and bush hog a couple passes through there, and then it'll allow us to get close to that fence. We're gonna go back up to the house now, hopefully get this pig pen done, spread a load of manure tonight, and then I gotta change the oil on my truck. So that's where we're headed. All right, well, we got the manure spread. The manure spreader is back in the barn here. I'm gonna go do some ditching at another property that we're leasing. So it's kind of a nice night. Got the tractor hooked up over here in that shed, and we're gonna finish up. So the kids decided they wanted to go fishing, let them off a little early. It is 4 o'clock anyways. So we're gonna wrap it up for the evening. I'm gonna do a little bit more work till dark. But thanks for coming along with us today. Hope this helped you in some way, just kind of seeing what we do on a typical day, how much we got done. We probably got close to 1,000 feet of fence today weeded because it wasn't that bad. We also got the pig barn cleaned and all the chores done around here and some work here in the shop done. So I had a pretty good day, and thanks for following along and coming along with us. Let me know if I can help you in any way. I do have some specific videos coming up here very shortly as soon as my items arrive. And I'll get with you on all that. Appreciate you guys watching. Have a good one.